Family, hello family. Look, well, I can't contain my excitement. I'm happy to be back. Oh, it's been a minute, right? Listen, I am back, and I'm going to work hard to be more persistent. I know I've been saying that for a long time, but I'm really not functioning. I'm like I'm happy to see myself. Like, whoo! If y'all know how I've been walking around here looking, let me tell you something. I got content where I look crazy AF. Well, I'm documenting stuff, and I don't know when I'm gonna have the nerve to let y'all see me looking crazy. I don't know. When I was in the hotel with them bed bugs, listen. Anyway, listen. Okay, so let me get to it, cause if I sit here and rant, it'll be 140 minutes. But I'm excited to do the video. I like to see myself with lipstick on. Huh? Anyway, listen, this is gonna be a recap video. My last video is where I discovered Judge Lawrence Riff committed fraud. I will continue, he committed fraud let me tell you the date. It was either January the 2nd or January the 9th of 2020, okay? January 2nd or January the 7th. There are two January court dates. And I think what I'm gonna talk about today is the very first January court date, and I think it's January the 7th, 2019. So anyway, I'm going to this is a recap. My video is where you see I'm losing my place, and I gotta stay focus and read the script. I've got to read the script because I'm really struggling with cognitive issues because of depression, anxiety, and all that kind of stuff. And I hate to keep saying that. I'm kind of embarrassed because I catch myself doing stuff like I forget what I said, or I'll go back or like start where I already said before. So that's because the depression and anxiety, and it's very important that you take note of that, because this is what happens to Black people when they are a victim of anti-Black hate crimes against them. And this goes on just for Black people in America, because we're kind of living in captivity. And I really hate saying that because I was not that Black person. Y'all saw that movie Woke? When that dude gets slammed and he change. Y'all, I would go ahead and rant, but that's what happened to me. It was like, wait, whoa, shit, I'm Black. Okay, let me stop. Okay, you guys. So, this is going to be a recap. My last video is where I discovered that Judge Lawrence Riff committed fraud. I will continue after this. This is a recap from the first two court dates to establish the court was conspiring against me from the very beginning. To also focus on the legal violations, legal violations, the fraud, the crime. You know what, you guys? I got this window open, and people move next door. Wait a minute, I'm gonna stop for a second, and I'm gonna close this window. You guys, I'm feeling really cute. I got on these pajama bottoms. I want y'all to see them, but they black and white, little baggy PJ bottoms, and they kind of go with my outfit I just put together. I'm so silly. Let me y'all. This is my natural me. I'm really silly. I'm like talking to y'all is like me getting out, being with somebody, like being amongst people. I've been sitting here bed rotting for so many years. But listen, as I said, so I'm recapping. And it takes me so long. I've been trying to read the transcripts, two transcripts. It took me probably like 3 weeks to read two transcripts, because as I read them, I experience anxiety. I actually recorded myself reading the last one yesterday when I was finishing up, because it's so hard. It's like when I read it and I take notes for this video, it's like transporting me back emotionally. My mind and my brain don't know the difference. Like I'm back, being traumatized by these people. So that's why it took me so long. So again, this video is going to be me recapping the first 2 days, and the reason being, you guys, when I was in the midst of it, I'm probably worse now than I was then, to be really very honest. I don't know which time I was worse, but I really wasn't present Like I was in a fog because this stuff was happening to me, and I really wasn't present in all the things that were happening. It just was not like, you guys, I struggle with words because I have really bad insomnia, and so I lose my train of thought and the words don't come. But I want to say like transmitting the information. That's not the right word to use, but I hate when this happens to me, guys, and this happens to me a lot. That I lose my loss. I can't think of the words. This is the harm what they did to me. Okay, y'all know I could talk. Okay, and I never had loss of words before this happened. I've never had loss of words. Like what? Anyway, what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say processing that when it was happening, I really wasn't processing what was happening. I didn't understand why they were being mean to me. I didn't understand why this was happening. Okay, so a lot of things have transpired. I'm reviewing it in this video of the 2 different court dates. I'm going to discuss what I think that is evidence that they were conspiring against me. So my position is that, I'm so sorry guys, my position is that, it's not supposed to stick to the script, but my position is that court officers, judicial officers, law enforcement, and other agencies and individuals conspired against me to cause me financial harm, financial and emotional harm. Okay, I'm gonna be able to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. And so, if you're watching, and I know they're long, I just listen, please just follow along, and please just watch piecemeal. This video is going to be me going over the first 2 court dates. And the last one was really very hard for me. That's why it took me probably 2 weeks to read 22 pages and talk about it, okay? So, I'm happy to like talking to y'all. Like, I feel like I'm doing something. Anyway, listen. So, and again, what I want to also to highlight or point out what's happening, what my story is about, okay? Please understand what I'm documenting. While I have endured this trauma, this is about Caucasian people having a compulsion to bring harm to Negro people. What is happening in the United States is a slow genocide of Negro people. And as I go on, I'm going to put it all together. Like you think of genocide, like what's happening in Palestine. Like they're just killing people. But in America, it's a slow genocide. I have a lot of content. I'm always researching stuff. I have some research regarding what Black people endure, the trauma, and what's happening to I hate when I can't talk, you guys. What's happening to the nervous system, the brain, the limbic system. It's worse than being at war. I did some research on that. Okay, so what I'm documenting government-sanctioned anti-Black hate crimes, where individuals colluded against me because I'm Black, and this is really hard. I really need you to follow along. I really need you to help me because I didn't do anything. This was a group of government agencies or judicial officers, lawyers, judges, justices, law enforcement, and other private organizations conspired to hurt me for no reason. That's why this is really very important. Like they chose me to hurt, and I didn't do anything. When you read the transcripts, notice how polite I am. I am very mindful of how I show up to people. I'm a cancer. This chick said, this one is video, look y'all, I'm on rant. Y'all gotta put on me rant. I watched this video yesterday or the day before. It was law and crime or something. And the girl was passing bad checks. She had a friend passing bad checks. And it was her birthday. It was July 14th. And she was talking to the cop. She said, I'm a cancer. I said, oh shit. Oh sugar. Anyway, typically cancers are good. They have good hearts. Typically, we have some low vibrating cancers who are wounded, but typically cancer and just like Pisces are pretty. They're good people. Why am I telling you that? I already forgot. Anyway, listen. What I'm trying to say to you is that my story is about conscious. They consciously intention was to cause me harm, and this it's similar to like, you guys, I'm losing my train of thought now, and I'm using what happens to my brain why I'm stuck, because it's painful for me to say, it's painful for me to process the thoughts. But this, what they did to me is the same motivation of what happened with the Tulsa race massacre. If you guys know, to remind you, the Tulsa race massacre, I can't talk because I'm afraid. The Tulsa race massacre was a 2-day long terrorist massacre. I'm going to read from Wikipedia. Mobs of white residents, some of whom had been armed and appointed as deputy by city government officials, attacked black residents and their home and businesses. The attackers burnt and destroyed over more than 35 square blocks of neighborhoods, at the time one of the wealthiest black communities in the United States, colloquially known as Black Wall Street. This event considered one of the worst incidents of racial violence in history. And so what it amounted to, it was white people not wanting to see black people be productive, prosperous, and happy, for them not to live our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And as I talk about it, it's hurtful to me because this was my husband. This is the man that I love. He was my soulmate, who I was married to for 23 years, and it's very hard for me to process that this white person did this to me, and he was able to weaponize my blackness. I can't, you guys, when I say this, I don't want you to get angry. I want you to understand what I'm going through and let the anger be motivation to help me in any way possible. Okay? So what I'm saying, what happened to me, it's no different than what happened at Black Wall Street. White people were jealous and evil, and they have a compulsion to hurt Negro people because we're black. And I say that over and over again because my mind can't process, where does that evil come from? Like, I haven't got to all the horrible shit that happened to me yet, okay? And these people, individual people, when I will call, you're gonna see I documented everything, and I didn't do anything. Another historical massacre of black people rooted in the same compulsion to harm Negro people was the Elaine race massacre. Black sharecroppers held a union meeting to discuss fair wages, led by Robert Hill. They blatantly cheated the sharecroppers. I'm going to put a video regarding the Elaine race massacre. The same way that they purposely, you guys are going to see with the money, with my marital assets, how they purposely took everything from me and gave it to this man to cause me harm. They stole my home. Matter of fact, you guys, I don't have a lot of money. Last Saturday, it's hard for me to say, so I gotta move on. What little money I had in my account that I made, the state of California took it because they say I owe money for taxes for the sale of my home when I didn't sell my home. I didn't sell my home. I signed nothing, I sold nothing. This was during COVID. And I was hesitant to share this with you because I want to do things sequentially so you can see all that happened and all that led up. So what I was talking about was the Elaine race massacre. They cheated sharecroppers. They harmed them the same way. This is the same mindset, consciousness, compulsion. It's a compulsion to want to violently hurt another human being because they don't look like you, because they originated in a different continent. And you guys, I really struggle with processing and thinking like the evil. So the Elaine Race Massacre, like I said, they blatantly cheated the sharecroppers. The same way the judge colluded to defraud me out of everything I worked my entire life for. White intruders stormed the church. They were having a meeting, a union meeting at the church. And they stormed the church. A white man was murdered. The town retaliating, murdering over 100 black people. This race massacre was known as Red Summer, referencing all the bloodshed. These people were on their own property. White savages attacked black people in their place of worship. I haven't got to the part of my story, but on September 23rd, 2020, 8:30 p.m. at night, sheriff deputies broke down my back door, broke in my home, and threatened to arrest my son if we didn't leave. This was during COVID, you guys. If I didn't leave my home. So I have a lot of content to share. It's just a matter of me disseminating it, because to put it together, it's debilitating for me. I will say I'm going to do it on Monday. Tuesday will come. I have really bad insomnia too. One of the issues is the insomnia. So I don't go to sleep till like 5, 6 o'clock, and that's been happening since August. And I want to tell you all my issues. I had a problem getting a doctor. Every time I got a doctor from the list I called, they say they don't take my insurance. So I'm talking to someone from the insurance company, and she's trying to get me a doctor. I don't know if it's, I don't know, something's wrong with me. I'm suffering from debilitating fatigue. Like really, I just get tired out in the middle of the day, and then I don't sleep. But where was I? I was talking about the Elaine Race Massacre. I'm 13 minutes in, and what I just want to highlight, to point out what is happening to me, is what they've done to black people, Negro people. I'm a Negro, okay? I'm a descendant of child slavery. My grandfather fought in World War II. I'm an American Negro, okay? I'm going to link the video below about them breaking in my home and me calling the City of Industry Sheriff Department, and you guys listen to what this man called them breaking into my house. He called it a service call. This is how arrogant they are, how brazen they are. But to discuss a few other of the race massacre, there was other Colfax massacre, East St. Louis massacre, and a Wilmington massacre. And these all happened like in the past 100 years, but it's still going on today. This type of action of violence still goes on today. Aaron Strotman, who was guilty as a nurse, who was guilty of breaking the limbs of babies, black babies, in a neonatal NICU. Like, I need my glasses to see. I just don't know how to process this. And I'm doing this video because this is my duty. People died for me. They were hung, raped, murdered for my liberty. And this is the opportunity to demonstrate government-sanctioned hate crimes against a black woman who was married to a white man, to an alcohol-abusive white male who has ties to the family court. Please help me. Please get involved. Please follow my YouTube. Donate to my GoFundMe. Tell people about it. I haven't got deep into everything they've done because it's hard. But they harmed me for no reason other than I'm black. And it was brazen. The main judge, Lawrence Riff, they promoted him to the supervising judge of civil court. We got to get rid of these judges. We have to hold these people accountable. So I just wanted to talk about look, I'm gonna say the same thing I said already because I wrote it down. I'm gonna say it again, you guys. I'm gonna say it again. If you're watching, please get involved. Donate to my GoFundMe. Follow this channel and like my videos. Maybe attorneys. I'm looking for help, and I'm hoping that I can get. I've kind of reached out to try to get some pro bono help. To be honest, my vision is a team. I'm hoping that I can coordinate a team of black, not even just black, just attorneys throughout the country that can get involved and highlight what happened to me. This is synonymous to Tulsa, the Tulsa race riot, to Black Wall Street. Okay, now you guys, I'm not gonna do that anyway. Let me do my affirmation, and I'm gonna get into it, you guys, because I've been talking too long. Okay, I effectively communicate my story to those who have concerns. Sharing my story will help facilitate my healing. My story is reaching powerful people who have the knowledge and ability to help me obtain justice. I am a black woman, descendant of child slavery. The ancestors will help me improve life for black Negro people. I will help black Americans finally live in harmony. And I feel like I'm going to do that because when I hold these people accountable, what my end goal is to set precedents for government-sanctioned anti-black hate crimes. This was the government that harmed me. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to talk about January the 2nd, 2019, and this is on YouTube. And I also have the website, so I've embedded the transcript. So I'm going to talk about some stuff, and I also have notes at the bottom of the post on the website, and kind of read through my notes so you can see. I'm going to say alleged, but I believe that the court reporter is in cahoots with the judge and the other co-conspirators, and you will come to the same conclusion when you see how the transcripts have been compromised. And I did file a complaint to I think it's called the court reporter board of the court reporter board, and I'm naming them as part of the conspiracy to harm me. The collusion, okay? So I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to try to stay focused because I've been 20 minutes already, and I really want to try to get this done in maybe 50 minutes, okay? Or maybe even sooner. It's January the 2nd. I'm attending a trial setting conference. I don't know what's happening, you guys. I have a court date, and I really don't know what's going on, okay? I'm not sure the nature of the hearing. The court discusses a trial setting conference. I don't know what a trial conference is. Opposing, oh gosh, what's happening, you guys, my computer, still recording my computer, but blacks, I don't know if it's going, did it stop? I'm recording on a refurbished iMac. Okay, I'm not familiar with court procedures. Heidel makes mention of opposing counsel. I question who is opposing counsel. I explained I have not had the pleasure. Heidel makes condescending comments. We're in a hearing now, so you can have small talk afterwards. I'm going to get transcripts from her talking to other people, and I want you to notice that she doesn't. This is how she's talking to me. Why does she say that? We're in a hearing now, so you can have small talk afterwards. I said, it's my pleasure. I'm being polite. The fact that I couldn't identify opposing support, that they didn't follow procedure. It is my understanding before each hearing we're supposed to meet and confer. I get to testimony that I don't have an attorney. I need an attorney because I'm not knowledgeable of the law. I even said I was under the impression that James was going to handle the case on his own, that he wouldn't get an attorney. When he and I spoke about it briefly, he said attorneys would be expensive. The court makes a negative statement about ability to communicate. She insinuates that I get confused when it comes to my injuries. I really didn't know what she said. I only knew it was negative because of body language. I'm gonna go because of the body language of the bailiff. I asked her to repeat what she said, and she moved on. 3 weeks earlier, I was rear-ended. Okay, this man left. He wasn't giving me anything. And you guys, I could have requested spousal support when he abandoned me. Okay. I was married for 23 years, okay? We get mad at each other. He'll go to his room. We don't, like, I don't want to talk to you, okay? But eventually, it works itself out. I was in a very, just fragile state. I had been dealing with this abusive alcoholic my entire life. I had a horrible back injury, and I had chronic pain every day. This man was nasty to me. He didn't care about my pain. He acted like my pain was a burden to him. And I had chronic pain every day of my life for like 8 years. Okay? Anyway, so she's saying that she makes this comment, okay? And this is her, what I'm doing is why I'm going over this. Because I want to point out her behavior, okay? The way that she talks to me, that she knew that I believed that she knew this man. And because he filed in a court like miles from my home. It wasn't in the vicinity of my home. Okay, he filed at this court. And I don't want to go into it because there's a group called California Law Naked Truth. They're going after all the same judges that harmed me. Okay, and this particular courthouse has a reputation for harming people, for not following procedure. Okay, and we're gonna have to ask him, why did you file in Pomona? You guys, the evidence is overwhelming. So she said something, and you guys, I had just had I had been rear-ended. The guy, that's where I'm going with the money. He had left. I was doing Uber and Lyft, and you guys, I was robbing Peter to pay Paul. I had an SUV, and the SUV was too old, or the gas was too expensive, or a combination. So I would have to rent a car to do Uber and Lyft. I would pay $250 a week to rent a car. I would have to make the first $250. Not even to the first $250 that I earned, and what came after that was my income. I wasn't making any income. Meanwhile, this man's making $14,000 a month, and he had been gone for a whole year before this court date. He left January 5th to 2018, and you guys, New Year's Eve was my anniversary. He went to San Diego with some woman on our anniversary. This dude is foul. I don't talk about fouls, man. He's like, where you gonna get this foul ass man? He foul, y'all. And he foul. And I'll kind of come to terms with him being foul. This is why I was like, bro, I had enough. Okay? We good. I just didn't expect the court to do this to me. Anyway, so I was suffering from a concussion. I felt like my head was underwater, y'all. Like my ears were popping. I couldn't hear, and I was having a really hard time focusing. Oh God, I gotta go real quick. My computer's about to die. I gotta go faster. I only knew it was negative by the body language of the bailiff. It was a white woman, and I remember this because she said something, and the bailiff looked back at me. Her body language was like, and I was like, ma'am, what did you say? I didn't understand. But I knew it was negative, and then I read it on the transcripts. Anyway, Heidel gives testimony that I know what I want, and I know the issue. For the past 15 minutes, I testified that I need an attorney, that I'm struggling cognitively, and I have zero education about procedures or discovery. The court testimony is deceptive and gaslighting techniques. I need an attorney. This is why I'm going over this, you guys. Please read the transcripts. She purposely tries to mislead and guide me, and she says specific things to make me, like she says, you know what you want. Read. I'm saying, ma'am, I need an attorney. I don't have any money. He left me. I don't have money for food to eat. Okay, to a man who makes $14,000 a month at that time. He makes more than that now. At that time, he was making about $14,000 a month. Okay, the transcripts are embedded in the post. If you're watching on YouTube, I will post links in the description on YouTube. I also including the notes. On my notes, I go through and document, itemize each line that's omitting information. Gosh, forgive me. What happens is, in the transcripts, the court reporter, Shani Ludwig, I think her name is, it's omitted. Like like I'm talking, and it's omitted. It was to taint the transcripts. Anyway, the transcripts are embedded in. Okay, so I said that. So now I'm going to go to I'm moving right along. Okay, that was January when I first got there. Please read the transcript. The next hearing is February 7th. This was really hard for me to read, like days to do this. Like when I would read it, I would read like 2 pages. I would be like, I just would be shook. Like really, I'm laughing now, but I'm like, I would just be like, I'm reading what this lady's doing to me, okay, and how I got where I am now, okay, destitute. Anyway, the next hearing is February the 7th, 2019, spousal support hearing, spousal support. This man's been going February the 7th, 2019. He left January 5th, 2018. He hasn't given me anything, okay, in over a year. I could have filed for spousal support. I didn't because, and I hate to even say this, I just knew he was messing with me. I was like, listen, he playing with me. He just want me to kiss his butt and da 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 da. I was tired, you guys. I had back surgery. I was trying to recover. This man had abused me for over 23 years, and I really had enough. You gonna just move out the house? Don't tell me where you going. He just gonna leave and don't tell me where you going. He just left. Not to mention on January, he went to San Diego to be with some chick. I know you don't think I know who you was with in San Diego. I don't care. But New Year's Eve is our anniversary. He went to San Diego with some chick he knew from his hometown, Tennessee, on our anniversary. And I'm sitting here beefing how nasty that was. He did way far greater than that. Okay, he's done far greater than that. And I serve a good God. I'm going to give it to God. I'm going to say, let God be my vindicator. Anyway, okay, so the next hearing is February the 7th, 2019. Spousal support again. The transcripts are embedded in the post. It is important to review the transcripts where testimony is omitted. Testimony pertaining to the spousal support. She says the problem is what? Again, I give testimony regarding what the petitioner communicated to me. What I'm discussing is, I give her, let me read it to you, okay? Page 5, lines 6 through 9. Judge Sarah Heidel says that she doesn't see the support of the allegations I am making. I had this end of year check stuff. See page 5, line 9. How much she is going to order is omitted. See page 5, line 13. Page 5, line 15. The transcript said unintelligible, meaning she couldn't understand me. When I responded about the evidence, my evidence supports what I am saying. Judge Sarah Heidel gives misleading testimony. I asked Judge Sarah Heidel, does she want to see the check stubs? She says no. I don't have an attorney. Why does she tell me no? She doesn't want to see the check stub. I have the end of year check stubs. I also had our taxes. I told her I can show her taxes. I filed our taxes every year. Notice again, there's testimony missing from the transcripts. And you know what? I'm thinking about this because I read it. I have this report about unrepresented people, unrepresented litigants, and I got to look at it again, but in there it talks about the judges being understanding when you are representing yourself. Okay. Fast because I'm running out. This thing about to die. I file our taxes every year. Notice again, there's a testimony missing from the transcripts. Page 6, line 1. Read how she talks to me. She chastised me for no apparent reason. Review what Judge Sarah Heidel says on page 5, line 23 to 24. I'm talking about transcripts from February 7th, 2019. It's been on a year. I want spousal support. Okay? He's supposed to pay me between $4,000 and $6,000 a month. Okay? Technically. Okay? Page 6, line 1. Read how she talks to me. She chastised me for no apparent reason. Review what Heidel says. Page 5, line 23 to 28. Page 6, Heidel asked me what I have for evidence for his income. It's coming back to me. She kept going around in circles. Notice I'm flustered. We were supposed to meet and confer before the hearing. I was supposed to see what evidence they had. They were supposed to see what evidence I had. You see that Ariel Carter continues to violate court procedures. I didn't have an attorney. I wasn't knowledgeable of California court procedure. And you know, as I say this, you guys, and I read this to you, and I'm thinking about what she did, how she talked to me. She knew him. Okay, I'm going to tell you, this other stuff happens. I already talked about that when he filed a restraining order against me. This is all recap, okay? So start from the beginning, y'all, okay? I'm going to put the very first video in the description. So start from the beginning. Y'all come rock with me. Y'all got to help me. This is gonna be historical. If my family get together. Help me fund my GoFundMe. Help me find some investigators and get some good, solid trial attorneys. This really can set precedent. This is about anti-black hate crimes at the hands of the United States government. Okay, so listen, you guys. So remember, you read the transcript. I said, do you want the check stubs? Okay, you guys, I had November check stubs for that year, okay? She says to me, I can't support what you're saying, what you're showing me. This is her purposely trying to, falsify or commit fraud about what I'm showing her. She's insinuating that she can't, my evidence doesn't support what I'm saying. You have the tax paper, you have his W-2s, you have his check stubs. How does it not support it? Just why when I was reading this, I was just getting sick inside. Anyway, you guys, I gotta go faster. Page 6, Heidel asked me what I had for evidence of his income. It's coming back to me. She kept going around in circles. Notice I'm flustered. We were supposed to meet and confer before the hearing. I was supposed to see what evidence they had. They were supposed to see what evidence I had. You will see that Ariel Carter continues to violate court procedures. I didn't have an attorney. I wasn't eligible of California procedure. Page 8 and page 9. I'm explaining what is his income. Please see court reporter Shani Ludwig is a party to the collusion of harming me financially in the divorce. I'm going to say allegedly. It is convenient. Okay, what I'm trying to say, it's convenient. The testimony is missing. Specific words that germane to determining spousal support is missing. And so what I'm saying, when you read what's missing, you don't understand the context. It does, because they specifically omit stuff that speaks to the spousal support. And so what's crazy, this is why this is collusion, this is a RICO violation, okay? In order for the court report to have gone in and took out specific words, she had to do it with the judge, okay? Moving on. I am confused because the transcripts read that Judge Heidel spoke to the spousal amount early on in the she says this is what I'm going to order. Then it's blank. What I noticed that in the court reporter has cut and paste information. I noticed on the transcript where Judge Riff gave testimony on the transcripts, but it was a statement he said during another trial hearing. So this is what I know. Okay, I think in January 7th of 2020, the transcripts have a statement that he said in October of 2019. So the court reporters are also a party to this. Okay. Page 10, Judge Heidel asked that we go outside to meet and confer. Opposing refused to state I was resistant. That is a bold-faced lie. You can see my demeanor. The only thing petitioner asked when we were in the hall was to move the date. I declined. I was never resistant. The fact the judge took her at face value. The judge says go outside and meet and confer. The lawyer is resistant. The lawyer says no, I don't want to. So the judge tells her to do something. She says she don't want to. She says that I was resistant. You guys, when you read the transcripts, every transcript moving forward, I am very polite. I speak respectfully. Okay? I'm not mean. I'm not a mean, angry person, just like angry. This man has harmed me and caused me emotional pain for 20-something years. And you watch my video. This man was my soulmate. I love this man. He's an alcoholic. He's an alcoholic, and he has dark moments where he does shitty things. And I was tired of being in pain. He would do shit to me, and I would just go inward for days. I would just go inward, not go outside and just be inward because the pain he would cause me. So she asked us to go outside, and so what's happening on the transcripts, she says that I was resistant. I wasn't resistant, and I try to respond to it. She noticed what she never gives me the opportunity to respond, okay? And this is an ongoing thing with Los Angeles Family Court, that they purposely deprive the litigants of speaking for fear of them saying something that's germane to the case or their position or the court codes and laws, okay? So, you know what, you guys, I stopped. I was putting this together, and I was having such a hard time that I paused. Okay, you guys, I'm going to power through real quickly, okay? It's 11:15, May 6, 2026. Let me see what I left off. Okay, on page 11, so Judge Heidel said, you guys go outside and talk about it. I don't even know why she said that, because at this point, she had the W-2s. At this point, actually, later on, I'm going to read it to you. She asked the petitioner on, I think it's the page, the form 150. I might be saying it wrong. It's the form where you put your income on there. Supposing confirms that the evidence that they submitted was the same thing I submitted, okay? On page 11, my complete response is omitted. So I testified that the petitioner asked that I move the spousal support. Okay, so this is what happened, okay? She comes to me and she says, this is my first time seeing this woman. She comes to me and she says, we want to know if can we move the date for the spousal support to a further date that I think we have other things on the calendar. And I said no. You know, I wasn't resistant. I just said no. Okay? So on page 11, my complete response is omitted. I testified that petitioner asked that I move the spousal support, and I declined. Page 11, notice how polite I am. I'm asking if the decimator should told me no. I asked her about the decimator. It's a way that they come up with spousal support. She told me no. I think they replaced it with ex-spouse. opposing had a printout of the ex-spouse. I never saw it. I asked her, do I need a decimeter? She says no. She said, why didn't she omitted, she's lying by omission by not saying, no, you don't use the decimeter, we use the ex-spouse, okay? She's not helpful. She tells me nothing. Page 13, the petitioner is lying about her client income. I asked the court to ask him directly if he worked at the University of Phoenix. The court refused to ask him. So, because I know him, later on he starts to lie. He lies at in a different situation. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that now. But because I know him, this is before he knew. This is in the beginning. His behavior and his being brazen changed because he saw what they were doing to me. Okay, so I asked her. I said, what she was debating was his income. She has his income. It's on the FL 130, 150. It's a form that you use to report your income. She's looking at this. At this point, this man makes $14,000 a month. He makes more than that now. This was like 6 years ago, okay? I want to tell you, he actually ended up going to another job. His income ended up going up over 60 grand, $60,000 to $70,000 during the time that we were separated, because he left his company, his main company, went to a sister company. They gave him, I think, like a $30,000 raise. Then they moved him back. Okay, so I'm destitute, you guys. It's 2019. I had jobs in 2008. I was trying to build a business. Okay, so I asked the court to ask him directly if he worked at the University of Phoenix. The court refused to. She ignored me. Anything I requested, she would ignore, but whenever the opposing said, she would go along with. Page 14, I asked about the W-2 from 2018. I should have the information. The judge never ensured that I had a copy of the evidence petitioner presented. Page 15, the court brings up the mortgage. He paid the mortgage since 2008. He's always paid the mortgage. I hadn't had a job since then. Then I explained he is an abusive alcoholic. The court refused to acknowledge my claim when that is germane to the spousal support. Petitioner tries to imply that his income was decreased, the furlough. She said he had furlough days. The furlough days just mean he didn't take his vacation. He didn't take his vacation. Okay, I want to say this again, make sure, because it's part that I want to make sure I didn't miss. Then I explained he is an abusive alcoholic. And this is when this chick just went off. He is an abusive alcoholic. Petitioner tries to imply that his income was decreased. The furlough just meant he needed to take his vacation time, He didn't take his vacation time or sick time. When I have our daughter, he didn't take off. When I had a back injury, with back surgery, he never took off. And when I had back surgery, I was seeing a doctor, my back pain, for several months. I confided in his physician assistant of how this man was abusive to me. After I had my surgery, he comes after work. I could tell by the doctor's body language, he's not feeling this man. My doctor was amazing. You guys, my orthopedic surgeon, I used to go in there and just hang out with everybody. I want to tell you about that, man. I have them on my Instagram, okay? Well, I digress. But I was in the bed, in the hospital bed. The orthopedic surgeon, Reed. My brain is going blank. Because I put his name is Reed. How'd that get? Something Reed. You know what, you guys? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to put it in here. But you can find it on my Instagram. I need to keep going, right? I saw a post about a doctor saying she was racist against black people. And she admitted to it. I posted on my Instagram and showed that the doctor that I went to, I had the bomb, like, orthopedic surgeon, you guys. His assistant was like my buddy, right? You guys, I'm silly. At first I would do, we did different tries to treatment from my back. I was scared to get surgery. And I had pain injections or something like that. And just, what did I have? You guys, I'm so sorry, but I'm losing my thought. But here, I want to tell you, I got it on my Instagram. The guy, his name is, I put a picture of him, Dr. Ali. Yes, what is his first name? Reed Ali, I think. It's R-A-E-D Ali. You guys, he got a kick out of me. He was the best, you guys. Look, I won't say something maybe I should say, but his whole team was cool. What did they get? At first I was getting the injections, the spine injections. And I would have to wait months because they would do it at the surgical center, like a one-day surgery. Then I was in so much pain, they scheduled an emergency one at their office, and they had a local anesthesia. Because I had these injections a couple of times. I'm not saying it right. Some kind of injections in your spine for the pain, and I think I had it twice at a surgery center where they put me in full on anesthesia. Then it would take 30, 60 days to schedule. So I was in so much pain. One time they did it, and they had a local anesthesiologist and the pain specialist. We was in there having a good time. And the lady was like, the nurse was like, oh, it's the medication. I was like, nah, this is who I really am. His physician assistant, you used to laugh. Anyway. What am I saying? I'm trying to tell you, he didn't take off. He went to work when I had surgery. He went to work when I had a baby. And so she's saying that he got to take furlough days. His furlough days mean they made it mandatory that he take his day, that he do his vacation. That's what would happen. And I'm not my husband's workaholic. Okay, I'm not he provided for me. I didn't struggle. He took care of me. He took care of me. Okay, financially, I lived a very good life. Okay. But he worked a lot, and she's saying that she's implying that he's going to make less money because of furlough days. And I said, no, ma'am, he's on salary. The furlough days mean they are forcing him to take his vacation time. I think at this point he had 4 to 6 weeks of vacation time. Okay, and I think he got 2 weeks a year. So he was behind a vacation time, maybe 2 or 3 years, okay? Because typically we would go on vacation. I'm trying to think, the last time we went on vacation was 2017, I think. Yeah, I think the last time I went on vacation maybe was 2017. We would go on vacation New Year's Eve for our anniversary and spring break. Anyway, let me get back to this. So, yeah, I'm talking about when I had surgery, because when I was in the bed, I could see the doctor's body language towards this man. The doctor's tall and handsome, and my husband's a short white dude. And I could see the doctor's body language that he was not respecting this man. Okay, I'm having surgery, you go to work. Plus, I'm sure his physician assistant, I think her name was Kathleen or Catherine Wen. And she was cool. And I would tell her about this man. I would tell her how he would disrespect me. And he probably told her. Anyway, let me keep going. Y'all, I hope y'all listen to my little... Listen, this is happening to me. This is really happening to me. Anyway, so when I had... Okay, so the furlough just means he needs to take his vacation. He didn't take vacation time or sick time. When I had our daughter, when I had back surgery, he never took off. Attorney Ariel Carter is misleading the court. Heidel never does any probing to determine the truth about the claim of petitioner. Page 18, line 2. Heidel tells me to be quiet. She asked me a question. She told me to be quiet, y'all. I was trying to explain. I don't have counsel. Repeatedly, she talks over me or incorrectly frames what is happening. I introduced that he received $25,000 annually from his parents. On Christmas Eve, like for Christmas, they would send him $25,000. That was the minimum. It's times we got 50 grand. But minimum, they would send him $25,000. Okay, this is part of it was a gift to the marriage. I introduced that he received $25,000 annually from his parents. Heidel refused to acknowledge my testimony. She briefly addresses an error in my income. I may put $6,000 a month when I meant to put $600. I remember Heidel looking at me with disdain. So what happened, you guys? I would drive Uber. Why I didn't do Uber a lot. I had really bad. Actually, I actually started liking it like in the very beginning. It was cool. It was fun. Okay, one time he cursed me out. He cursed me out for filth. I bought a metallic or the magnetic signs that goes on your car for my business. I bought 2 of them, and you guys, I got it from Vista Print. It was like 2 for $25. It was like, I don't know if you know Vista Print, but they have really good specials sometimes. I bought 2 of these signs, logo magnetic signs to go on your truck, on your car. I bought 2 of them, and I remember I got 2. I remember they was $25 for 2. I think they was $15 normally, but you could get 2 for $25. This man cursed me out for filth. Okay, I want to tell you about how he treated me, about me trying to start my business. Maybe one day I'll tell you about that. I already have. But he cussed me out for filth. And you guys, I left corporate America. I don't know if I told you, I slipped and fell and I hurt my back. And then it started off with like what is it when you take off from work, family leave, or whatever. I slipped and fell. The original back injuries, I slipped and fell while I was going to see Beyonce's A&R guy, Max Goose, at Santa Monica at Def Jam. I slipped and fell, messed my back up. So I'm trying to remember what happened with my money, because I worked. When we first moved to California, I had a job first, okay? I contributed. I contributed to the marriage, okay, early on, okay? By 2008, we had been married for 12, 13 years before I stopped working, okay? So I stopped working. I'm trying to tell you what happened, because I'm not used to having, like, our money was together. He was stingy, my husband was stingy, okay? But he didn't get nasty about the money. He always was stingy, you guys. He just was tight with the money. So I just knew who he was, but he didn't get nasty until maybe like 2014. And I think what happened, his mother just died just recently. When his father died, his father didn't leave him any money in the will. He left some other man $20,000. This is why I think he got mad. I think his father penalized him for being married to a black woman. And this is because me and him always would have conflict. We would fight. This was the dynamic of what we would do. We would fight. We would have make up sex, and we would be back in love. Like we had. You guys, this is very hard. This is my husband. We had a tumultuous relationship, and I hate to admit it, but that was the dynamic of what we would do. We would fight. I ain't talking to you. Then it got to the point where he got his own room, like, go away. He would just start snoring and stuff. But, where am I going with this? He started being really nasty. Why I started doing Uber and Lyft. I bought these magnetic signs for my truck. You guys, he cursed me. I keep on saying this man cursed me out for filth for $25. I taught myself how to build websites. You see this website you're on? I built this. I'm a fashion girl. I majored in finance. I use YouTube. I built like 3 different websites. I teach myself. He wouldn't give me back. It's easier, it's cheaper now, but back then it may have cost like $2,000 to get your website built. He wouldn't help me. I taught myself. It took me 6 months. I redid the same website like 3 times, right? Over the course of maybe like 3 or 4 years. Because, WordPress will upgrade. I sat there and taught myself how to build websites. Okay, you guys, I'm getting sick inside because he just was being nasty to me. Okay, so I started driving Uber. Okay, I have a girls group. I don't want to get to my other part of it, my life, because I just don't want to collide with this trauma. But I had a girls group, and I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I know it's gonna be long, but let me tell y'all a story. So he was in Vegas or somewhere, probably somewhere to cheat on me. Who knows? At this time, God knows what he was doing. He was out of town. I think he was in Vegas, and it was Halloween weekend. And my girls group, we had a thing at this place called The Room in Hollywood. Anyway, I called the Uber, and look, if you see this video, I haven't talked to him in a long time. I called the Uber. This is a cool black dude from Missouri, wherever Nelly's from. I think it's where he's from. And he was like, "Oh, the app messed up." He's like, "You want to pay me $45?" He just want to get the money. "You want to pay me $45 to take you down to Hollywood to for Halloween?" And I was like, "Okay." And he was talking. He was cool, and I was like, "You know what? Maybe I should drive Uber." I'm gonna try to drive Uber. He's like, "Yeah, I'll teach you how to do it." Da, 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 da. Long story short, you guys, that's how I was like, I'm gonna be an Uber driver. Not an SUV. I was an XL. Okay. The first time I went out to drive Uber, I texted him. I said, "I'm driving Uber." He said, "For real?" It's like, "Yeah, this is cool. This is fun." This is back in the day. This was like 2016, I think. I think it was 2016. 2016, I think it was. And anyway, so where am I going with this? I mean, y'all sick of me. I'm talking about. So, you guys, I'm stressed out. This man had abandoned me. I want to tell you about my house getting rats, little rats coming in my house. Okay, my neighbor had a garden. Okay, so she goes, she briefly addresses an error in my income. I may have put $6,000 when I meant to put 600. I remember. So she looks at me. This is just this nasty white lady. Okay, she's just nasty. And I saw how she used to look. She was not attractive. She was like a fat, ugly white chick. She lost weight. She looked better. When I first saw her, I thought, "Ooh, yeah, I got a progressive, probably feminist that's going that's what I first saw. I was like, okay, this is going to work out. Anyway, sorry, I'm just silly. So she turns to me, she goes, "You put $6,000 on here." And I was like, "Well, if I did it by mistake." She looks, so "You put 6,000. She said it nasty. I'm like, "Lady, because what's going on in my mind? Like, why is this lady being mean to me? Like, what the hell did I do to her?" Anyway, line 17, page 17, line 27, Heidel asked me a question. When I answer, she tells me to be quiet. On page 18, line 1, page 19, she says she's going to apply 1820 as my income. I don't have an income. Okay? The 1820, his attorney penciled that in from, this is 2019 that we're in court. She penciled this 1820 in. That number was from 2017. I'm saying it wrong. 2018. It was 2017 because that's when I drove Uber, you guys. I started driving Uber, I think 2016, 2017. And because I have a business, as this goes on, I don't want to disclose my business. Actually, I think she puts it on the transcripts. She says, "Oh, she has the business," but I hadn't. I think I had just started my business. At that time, I had one customer. Most of my time in this business was, I built my website. I was coming up with the concept. I had a meetup group that was affiliated with my business. I'm trying to think, was this about the same time? Because he was there when I had the group. When I had the group, he would be nasty to me. Like I would do, you guys, I had the dope girls group, okay? And y'all, I'm the hostess with the mostest. Like I go all out. I'm like Martha Stewart. Like what Martha do, I'm that chick. And you guys, he started getting nasty. He started being jealous. He started being Like, I would have events in my house every summer. We would have the barbecue, like my business, the name of the group, cookout. Like, you guys, I'm really good at hosting stuff. Like, this is my wheelhouse. And he was hating. We would do Taco Tuesday at Mas Malo. They're closed now. So Mas Malo was I'm in LA. LA, I grew up Mexican food. So there was a place, it's called Mas Malo, and upstairs there was what is the name? It was a whiskey bar upstairs. Something 7. They're both closed. So you guys, I know I'm talking a lot, but I want you to understand. This was my husband and I was a wife. I had a corporate job. I was a mom. This was before Uber and Lyft. Early on with my son, I was the chauffeur. Before Uber and Lyft, the kids want to go places and do things. I would take my son and my daughter 11 years apart. Early on, if you guys know what it is to be a mom, okay? With my son, I was like the chauffeur. Then my daughter came along. She did cheerleading. She what else did she do? She did acting. The acting was a big thing. He's just nasty. She did cheerleading. She did acting. What else did she do? As a mom, I was like the mom. We had the group called the Mother-Daughter Philanthropic Group. Well, I forgot what it was called. It was a Mother-Daughter Philanthropic Group. If I can think of it, I'll put it in here. What was it called? I was a mom and wife, y'all, okay? Then what happened was my daughters got ready to go to college. I started building this business. In my business, I don't want to get into it because I really don't want y'all to identify who I am in that place because I don't want to miss this because this is sad, depressed me. My business was created because of the depression and the sadness because this man was abusive. I created a business, a therapeutic method to help women with their sadness and depression, to help them feel good about themselves. That was my business was about. This plaque, this wait, I do this one, I can't think. This sign that goes on the car, the metallic sign or the metallic sign that he cursed me out about. I was trying to build my business, y'all. I worked in corporate America. I worked for Wells Fargo. I worked for Airgrass. I only worked for Fortune 500 companies. And that was part of the issue. He was hurt. He didn't support me in my business. He called my business a charade. And everything that he wanted to do, I helped him and I supported anything he wanted to do. I helped him. This was when I built one of my websites, and I'm like, hey, he came over, hey, Andy, come see my website. And he goes, why does she look like a mouse? You guys, I have figured out how to make the people move on the website. This was 2016, 2017. I have figured out using YouTube and figured out, listen, no, I'm a finance major. I'm a fashion girl. I don't know how to do websites. I figured this out and I was so proud of myself. I said, honey, look, he sit there and he can get nasty. He was like, why she look like a mouse? What am I talking about? I'm glad y'all still here. Let me wrap this up, y'all. I hope y'all still here. I be here in bed, right? I be in bed, depressed, sad. And this makes me feel like I'm talking to somebody. Okay, so where did I leave off? Let me finish up. This is chick didn't give me any money. She didn't give me no money. Okay? She didn't give me no spousal support. Okay, line 27. Wow, I don't know what I was trying to tell y'all about. Oh, petitioner they put 1820 as my income. You guys, when I talked to attorneys said she's supposed to use what you make now. I didn't have an income. I got rear-ended in December. I hadn't worked, did any Uber or Lyft since December. This was February. So again, page 19, she said she's going to apply 1820 as my income. When I asked her just what she said, she denied me. So I was trying to explain to her. Petitioner took the 1820 from 2017, but it is 2019. She is supposed to use current income or at best 2018. See page 19, line 17 through 28. The testimony on the transcripts has been falsified. So let me explain to you what happened, you guys. I want to say to her that the 1820 is not actually 1820. That it's. I want to explain to her, I'm renting a car. I have to pay for mileage. Explain to her what the actual is. She would not let me. And during this time, I'm thinking they're doing what's accurate. Then I go back and I look and I see, because remember, they didn't exchange information with me. So opposing had created the ex-spouse amount. And guys, what you see is this lady's going to give me money. Opposing realizes that this woman's working against me. Opposing sees that she doesn't like me and she's being nasty to me, and she has the ear of the judge. You can see as it goes on. Anyway, so what I ended up doing after looking and researching, I realized the 1820 came from the tax records from 2017. She used tax records. It was February the 7th. We hadn't did our taxes for 2017. For 2018. This was 2019. She used 1820. So the petitioner said 1820. She makes me spend 40 minutes trying to prove how much he makes. She just puts on there what I make, but the petitioner says that she doesn't beat for her at all. Okay. Anyway, you guys, I'm getting anxiety because I'm sitting here thinking about this. I have my Apple Watch on to show y'all that I'm getting anxiety. She's supposed to use current income or at best 2018. Page 19, line 17. This testimony on the transcripts has been falsified, compromised. They asked to consolidate dates. You guys, this is important, and I'm going to touch on it the next one. And I really hope you're taking notes and you're paying attention. I know I'm rambling, but I hope you get adjusted what I'm trying to say. I'm showing you that she shows bias and that this man made $14,000 a month and she didn't give me any spousal support. I hadn't had a job since 2008. How was I going to feed myself? Okay? They asked to consolidate the dates. I said no. Judge Heidel. So there were 2 dates, March 13th, March 14th. This is other proof that the transcripts are been falsified. She asked me, do we want to consolidate dates? I said no. She knew I was angry because she didn't give me spousal support. She laughed. You guys, seriously, this woman shouldn't be a judge. We're going to take care of this. I'm going to move forward, but y'all need to ensure that this lady is not a judge anymore. She needs to be disbarred, okay? When they asked me, let me say it again because I'm getting angry and I got to explain. Actually, I probably already said it because this is a recap. I'll put some stuff in the description, some posts from the previous about what I'm talking about. I'll put some stuff in there so you can go back and review, okay? So what happened, the next court date is March 13th and March 14th. March 13th was my court date for attorney fees. Her court date was March 14th for vocational evaluation. The judge asked me, do I want to consolidate? I said no. This BITCH laughed. Like, yeah, we know you're mad, right? In the transcripts, she said she consolidated the dates. On the transcript, it says she did. She didn't, you guys. I have emails. So what happened was I had to apply for food stamps. My food stamp interview was March the 13th. I called her to ask her, can we move it to the 14th? She declined me and she said, no, remember you didn't want to move it. Somehow, mysteriously, they moved my date. So why I'm saying this? Because I am going to build a case. The way the evidence is going to show that this woman showed bias towards this white male against me. Okay, how do we prove it? Is it racial discrimination? Is it anti-black? When we go through and we see everybody, there it's going to be clear that I was harmed, that it was a concerted effort with a syndicate, a group of people colluded to harm me. Judges, lawyers, clerks, all to harm me as a black person. How do you prove that it's anti-black hate crimes? What other reason would they have to harm me? They don't know me from Adam. And the second thing is, and this could be it, and I'm just, because you don't want it to be black, but this is about me being black, okay? She just how Heidel wouldn't give this black man joint custody when his Mexican wife was being investigated by CPS. She says to him, you can't have spouse, you can't get custody, you just don't want to pay spousal support. She just comes to that conclusion. Okay? You know what? I gotta find that email. I'm gonna find that email and put it in the post. Because the guy, this is when I was like revved up and I wasn't scared. I was trying to get his information and talk to him. He was like, I can't deal with the court. That court's a dragon. I can't deal with the court. And I was like, what do you mean? We need to, I was like, come on, man. Traumatized like me. He had been traumatized. Okay, I'm gonna cut this out because I don't want the effing in there. He had been traumatized. Anyway, listen, y'all. This is the end of February the 7th, spousal support. What I'm gonna do, because this video was me discussing, showing you specifically how she didn't follow California family code, and her showing favoritism or being partial to this guy that I married, okay? Anyway, because I feel like to end this is going to be an hour-long video. But y'all, it took me about 3 or 4 weeks to do this. I am in not good shape. But if you like my page, if you follow, subscribe to my channel, I want to get 1,000 subscribers. If y'all can help me get this, we got to help my mood, y'all. I've been here sad, depressed. I woke up in a bed bug infested hotel for 3 years. I wake up every day. This has been going on for years. I wake up sick. When I wake up at 11, 12 o'clock because I don't go to sleep till 5 or 6. But anyway, listen, I hope y'all followed along and y'all listening. I need help with my GoFundMe, y'all. I tried to redo my GoFundMe. This is my 3rd time. Ain't nothing in there. But you know what? My GoFundMe is laughable. I think part of it is I'm not comfortable asking anyone for anything, but at this point I really need to raise money, and I need to get serious about it. Part of me is discouraging. It's hurtful. I'm discouraged. To be honest with you guys, my brain is like, how am I going to do this? When I wake up, my brain is like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And then I say, what else am I going to do? They stole all my money. They stole all my things. This man owed me all kind of money. What am I going to do? I would be like, I can't go any further. What am I going to do? My son takes care of me. They ruined his credit. We've been living in an Airbnb for 2 years. My son works 7 to 8 hours a day, every day. My son, while this white man makes over, you guys, he got to make about $16,000, $17,000 a month. He bought my daughter a Mercedes. You guys, I didn't want to talk about that. Because part of me, I want, they gave him money from the house. They just did all kind of stuff to me, you guys. They did all kind of things to me. Anyway, listen, please subscribe to my channel. And can y'all give me some money in my GoFundMe? I said, damn. When it's not, I raised $200 in one of them. But it was so long before they put in them, anybody donated anything. They closed my GoFundMe twice. So you guys, I need to really raise 50 grand at least. Can we start with 10,000? Y'all, I need an investigator. I need to be able to live. Please help me with my GoFundMe. Okay, y'all? Thanks. Bye.